So, guys, we are live. Welcome to the second round council meeting, in which, for some reason, Lauren decided to have an incredibly good-looking snack. Um, this is awesome. Looks really good. Yummy. Enjoy. Great.
Oh wait, you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
I fixed whatever I unfixed before. I'm sorry for that. I keep messing this channel up and I don't know why. Okay. Shall we wait 2 more minutes to see if Anki and maybe some others are gonna join, or should we just start? What are you guys saying?
We can each say one thing that happened to us this week.
What?
We have an icebreaker.
The icebreaker. Yeah, Lauren, come on, do the icebreaker.
Okay. The only thing I can think of is like one thing that happened to you this week.
Okay.
Now I have to think of what happened. Somebody else have an idea?
What is the question? Like something amazing that happened this week to each of us, or something really bad? Or...
Yeah.
Okay, something really good. So. Okay, great. I can start actually, because today something really great happened. After 3 months, I finally received the artwork from Art Basel that I bought during Miami Art Basel. It only took 3 months to get it here.
Sounds like frowns.
So I'm super happy today about this part, at least. Catherine, what's your happy share of the week?
Lillian posted her bunnies. That was pretty. I don't know. It was so cute. She posted.
Stella showed me. Yeah, everybody check it out on Lillian Sato. She is where the bunnies are representing Elena.
Woo!
Yeah. Even animals. It transcends humanity.
It does.
Catherine, did you ask the spirits if there was a meaning behind your dream yet?
Yeah, they told me that I need to like go on an undercover mission and steal that particular bunny for I don't even know. Like, I'm like, if I say something else, I'm gonna sound so creepy. No, I don't believe in animal sacrifice. Don't worry, I don't believe in that.
Okay.
This is so cute. I'm like,
Creatives have really creative dreams. So.
Hide your bunnies. Hide your bunnies.
No,
Oh,
I'm not gonna
no.
do anything. I swear, like, sacrifice me, dude. Like, it's fine. I'll give up my life for the bunnies.
Oh,
So cute.
yeah, they are. That's true. Gabriel, what's your happy share of the week? And also, welcome to the Realms Council.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. I had really good food yesterday. It was my birthday, and we went out for dinner, and I had like a really big surf and turf. It was delicious. that was a good thing. But I also lost my driving license, which is not so good.
You lost your driver's license.
Yeah.
Like the ability or the piece of the document?
Well, both. So,
Oh no!
Yeah, we finally here in Germany we're finally allowed to make parties again, which led to us in our creative space making a big ass party, which led to me not being very sober. And then in that state, when the sun came up, I somehow thought it would be super nice to drive around in one of those scooters and those electric. So yeah, that's gonna be expensive. Yeah.
You lost your license on a scooter. They took it away on a scooter.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
No, you're not allowed to drunken drive.
A scooter.
Yeah, it's a scooter.
It's not a car.
An electrical one.
It could be a bicycle.
Yeah.
Damn, Gabriel the party monster.
It's crazy. I don't agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah,
It's pretty
me
calm.
neither.
It's very weird.
But for
You're
how
very
long?
strict,
Yeah.
you Germans. You're so strict.
Yeah, for good reasons, you know, so that Gabriel doesn't mess up next time. No, just kidding. Gabriel, like,
What
how
is-
long is it gone for though? Like a month or longer?
Well, it depends. They took a blood sample from me, and
Oh
it
my
depends
god. It's like Black Mirror.
how much alcohol I had and what else they're gonna find there. So
Yeah, I wanted to say that could be a problem. Fuck.
It's crazy.
it's not clear yet. Yeah, we'll have to see.
At least you had fun.
Yeah, anyhow, sorry, but great birthday party and happy birthday
Yeah.
once more, even though belated.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Lillian.
Next.
Yeah, Lillian, your happy share of the week, and you cannot name your bunnies.
We already did.
Okay. Oh, I have a new snack, a new favorite snack. I really like pickles now.
You didn't before?
No, I thought they were gross, but
Who
recently I've
impregnated
been like,
you? Who impregnated you?
no, Stella, no. It's
I
nothing
just
like
hope you don't
that.
like pickle juice.
You should try olives next week.
Oh, I still hate olives, but yeah.
Oh, they're so nice. So good.
Totally got you on this one, didn't I? Sorry. Mo,
Okay, next.
your happy share of the week.
Hey, happy belated birthday, Gabriel. Lillian, please don't hate on olives because I love me some olives. I just had to chime in on a few things. But I have two actually. One, I got a new puppy. So
Whoa.
exciting. My real life
Aw.
business, like LLC, verified, like real business, is actually like a dog kennel. I think I've kind of mentioned that before, where like I have this big vision with like blockchain and like everything I could do with the doggy like realm. So we got a new puppy, so that kind of like really got me super excited and like, you know, refocused on my real business too, alongside of blockchain and everything that we're building. So that's been like super busy this week, but super exciting. He's so cute, you know, puppies just want to play all day, and now I have two, and my little one's turning 4 this month. So
Aw.
a lot of fun this week. That's been awesome. And also we started selling tickets for our first workshop, and Lillian was actually the first person to buy one. I mean, 2 people that are like in our core team bought tickets as well for whatever reason, just to support, but like outside of that, we sold our first ticket, and it was so cool because I has ended up sending her like a 50% off you know, code, and she's like, no, I love the speakers and want to support. And I'm like, yay, that's the vision. You know, I'm happy that she got that supported, and just kind of, you know, all this stuff got me really excited about the direction that I'm going in with a lot of the things that I'm working on.
That's really great, and also a lot of happy shares. And as I mentioned before, once the Javits launch is finally done, I will be all over promoting this and get the word more spread out so we can sell more tickets.
Yay, woohoo. And I'm excited for your Jevels. I hope you mentioned that, you know, when you share yours, but super exciting.
Oh yeah,
We're all doing awesome stuff.
Right, I should have said this was my happy moment. This was also a happy moment, but it was just, you know, the bunnies and all of that, and then the artwork came. It's actually been a really happy week so far. So on that note, Yauheni, tell us something cool in your life aside from the stuff that's not so cool. And also welcome to the Realms Council, because Yauheni is or used to be an individual designer with Digital X. He's not technically a realm owner, but he also wants to learn how to build out his own infrastructure. Yauheni,
Is he muted?
I think he cannot speak right now. Maybe there's a problem with his microphone. But he's here, definitely. Maybe he can share later. Okay, and Deep Thought already wrote into the chat that he's working, so he's just gonna listen. How about we get onto our goals for this week, right? So I'm gonna pull this quickly up, right? Because everyone noted down some stuff, and I made a little list for that. So Maria is not here yet, so probably she won't be able to come. She will see this as a recording. Enki might not be able to make it, depends. Maybe she joins later. And here I'm gonna jump to the original list. So the original list said goals for next week's Realms Council meeting: Kalau, finishing onboarding process and Alta Sphere missions. How has that been going for you?
Bad. Let's see. I'm on my phone. I'm gonna try to put my little document. So do we have a chat, or should I just use general chat?
No, council chat. It's right above council voice.
Okay.
I think for now, I had this conversation yesterday in a really nice phone call with Enki, who just joined us. Welcome, Enki. And it was about, how we're going to do with this, right? Because right now we have this on Alana server as an interim solution, but as like really all of us are pretty busy right now, I said maybe following Enki's idea to make this like a whole separate DAO that is just specialized in fashion and fashion NFTs and creating. Maybe we do this after we have actually figured out the infrastructure. So I'm positive we can do this in maybe 3 months or even earlier from now, right? Where we can launch this as like a separate entity, and all of us who are now in the Realms Council will be automatically, obviously, be DAO members. But yeah, we should definitely discuss this and keep this thought alive, because as much as I love having you all here and bringing more traction to the server, I think it just makes sense to create a separate entity. Okay, Lauren, you go. Sorry. You
I
go.
posted my little graphic. So, and I also sent a deep thought before we were having a chat. And so we recently had Janet. I don't know if anyone has chatted with Janet, but she's really great. And so she's helping like me to create kind of like an onboarding process for Entourage, to try to avoid having like an overwhelming thing like from entering the server. So we're trying to identify like kind of 3 things that like people want from Entourage when they start. I think I mentioned last time. So like the first is to connect, and that's just like general, right? Like participating in events and like just chatting in the general chat. Like it doesn't require any kind of like active participation. The second is to contribute, and so then that is now like the DAO that we're trying to focus on how to build and recruit and like organize. And then the third one will be create, and that will be like Alter Atelier, which is like a part of the DAO, and probably like kind of organized based on seasons, or we'll still have to figure it out. But yeah, kind of in order to get Entourage moving and like as much kind of like support from the community as possible. We started last week our first like kind of onboarding training session, and so I made a presentation. I'm gonna like record a video about it and like send to you guys for feedback also. And if anybody wants to join for our next one, I have to schedule it. But it was just kind of explaining like what is Entourage, those like 3 things of like chat or connect, contribute or create, and then focusing on the DAO and like kind of explaining the different spheres that we set up. And so the idea is still that we like kind of recruit like between 1 to 3 guides. I like guide. I decided on guide instead of leader for each sphere. And so they're really people who want to like kind of like take responsibility for like kind of guiding people based on like either missions or just like projects around that subject. So we have Alter Strategy, Affinity. The Affinity just means community. That the one is the most urgent to start so people can know what Entourage is. Alter Anarchy is like the one about eco kind of activism. Alter Tech is the one Stella's leading and figuring out kind of the process with like filters, focusing on that to start. Alter Atelier is something that we'll launch like maybe next month or the month after, dividing that our product by like kind of our formula. And then we have Alter Architect, which is basically like how do we figure out how all these things, like all these Web3 elements, tokenomics, smart contracts, blockchain, all that stuff. And then the last one is like Showcase. So yeah, so it went well. Like there were like 4 or 5 new people who came and they were super nice and like they gave really like cool feedback. And I think they're either interested to join like a sphere or like lead one. So then the next part, we made, I'll also post this in here if anybody wants to take it. It's like a personality test that like tells you which sphere you would be put into. It doesn't tell you yet, but it will. So if you guys want to take it and give feedback on like the questions and if you think it missed something, the goal is like we'll make it automatically say like which sphere you are suggested, like maybe like a pie chart, like kind of showing what percentage, you know, like a personality test. So it's kind of funny. And then yeah, and so then the next step is like finishing up the training video, starting to onboard people, and like they're really our first test, like to make a super streamlined process. So the mission part, like haven't gotten there yet, but the next, I think like we're on the next step. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. Does anyone have questions?
I didn't have well, maybe it is kind of a question, but Lauren, that's really cool. One of our new engineers actually suggested the same, like have like kind of like a personality quiz in order to like help people that join kind of answer questions, and then it suggests which core team they should end up using. But you're saying you guys actually used a bot in Discord? Because I mean, we're building a website, so that's something that they're going to actually include on the website. But it will be.
Oh well. Okay. Let's. Hey, Anki, you wanna say your happy moment of the week? We were doing this in the beginning.
I don't know if I have like a particular happy moment. I've just been busy like working on stuff, and yeah.
Okay.
That's been my life, has literally been like sitting in front of a screen constantly with rain. But we had one day of sun, so that was nice.
Oh yeah, right. Maybe that was your happy moment of the week. You said
that was
you
definitely
would be
that's my happy day.
Okay, cool. Okay, okay. Yeah, we need to get you more happy moments, I feel.
Yeah, we need more sun.
Catherine, your goal was at the time, and now I think I lost it again. Let me find it. Was to get a clear vision on having a clear vision and mission on GGVogue and reflect that in the Git book. How did that go for you?
Lovely. Yeah, I kind of spent the weekend in like solitude and like it's nice, I think, for me because there's so much going on in my head. So it just comes more naturally, I think, once you like. Okay, I'm gonna get to the point. So vision would be like to be a hub, where like people who are really interested in magic, but also people who are more on the Web3 side and anyone really curious can take part in like pushing the boundaries of, you know, ritual magic in the quote unquote metaverse, obviously done in a fashionable way. The name, obviously, DigiVoke is short for digital invoke, like invocation. So, you know, you can invoke the attributes of these digisties, so digital deities, but also you could invoke their garments, you know, just idea there. But the mission and goal is to conduct rituals in VR, and you know, we've done 2 spaces already with Monaverse, and they they're on their roadmap is to do VR, so that's great. And then the first step I think we'll take is, I guess I could also share my screen, but show you that I did do it. Wait, yeah, you could see that. Yeah, yes. Okay, so first.
Oh, you
step.
put this already into Gitbook. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Nice. Good job.
So I'm having my friend look over it, and we're gonna like kind of edit it. So if there's anything wrong with it, whatever. But the first step, which I was already doing, but then, stuff happened. But it's gonna be the What is Digital Magic collection, and I have this vision where these garments, these robes, like just words will pop up. Like, I have a couple of magicians that I'm gonna ask, and I'll take their definitions on it, and probably my own definition too, and I'll just make this cool like digital fashion animation and mint those, and but then the objective is to like answer these 3 questions, and I'll obviously fill up the Git book. So like, what is digital magic in the ritual world, and then becoming a digital magician is the main focus. But also I think I should also add this to either mission or vision, but a lot of people are really interested in all this, but it's just so like dispersed and no one knows what to do. So it's gonna be nice to have like a little organization, not too much, but like just a little bit.
Yeah.
And so next is it's called smart contract and figuring out what platform, and
Oh yeah, so I got some good news for all of you on that. I provided some information to Alterage's very own Klausi, and Klausi figured out a way to implement those smart contracts. So I'm gonna meet him again, I think this Friday. We set up. He wanted to meet today, but since we're having the call, it's getting too late for him on the other side of the planet. So anyhow, we're gonna meet on Friday, and he's gonna teach me how he did it, and we're gonna take a video of that, and then we can put it here in the chat, so you guys can can use that as kind of a tutorial to set it up by yourselves. So that's great news.
Yay! That's awesome, Stella. Could I actually join you guys on Friday? I know that was like my task this week, so I've done kind of like a bunch of little studying or looking into it, and Manifold wasn't really something that worked well. But I mean, I guess like you said, if you guys are recording it and just reposting it, then it's just the same, really.
Yeah, I think so, because I know Klaus and myself, so we tend to talk German, so I probably have to voice over the video.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, no problem. That sounds like a plan then. That helps a lot though. And you guys are still planning. I guess this is my main question then. He's still going to be deploying it on Polygon, right? It's going to be kind of just like how we've been doing it, because that's the problem that I started noticing with a lot of these other like contract or smart contracts and tutorial videos, is they're on Ethereum. So it ends up starting to cost a lot of money with each airdrop, each drop, each mint, and each transaction. Even just doing things, interacting with your contract and signing for it will cost you like $40. So I like with us doing it on Polygon and it being a lot more efficient that way.
So I think we actually have to, or we are going to do both an Altarage, meaning there will be drops that will be exclusively done in Ethereum, and then there will be some that like you said, like airdrops and all of that stuff might just be done generally on Polygon. And since Polygon is just, I mean, this is a huge argument right now people are having, if Polygon is actually a layer 2 or if it's like its own thing by now. But I would still argue it's layer 2. And, looking at OpenSea, where you can mint on both of them, I think since also for Entourage, OpenSea was decided as one of the platforms we're going to mint on. This is something we have to figure out also on Friday. So, sorry, I didn't want to get up your hopes. So, we are about to clearly figuring this out, but I cannot promise we have the Polygon solution ready on Friday. But it's definitely on the map. We have to figure this part out.
Yeah, because even when I was thinking how there's two, one for governance tokens and one for airdrops, that's kind of where I have to go further into that research is, what's necessary for the governance token smart contract and what's, necessary for the airdrop one. Because like you said, those two could be on Polygon and then, other NFTs can be on Ethereum. That's what I was thinking as well. But even with the governance token, doing that on somewhere where we're going to be dropping a lot, dropping often so that it's not costing us as the founders and the people having to do it, $100 plus every time we're interacting with it every week or whatever.
Yeah, you're right. So about that, if you guys want, I can share what I have found out about all of this kind of infrastructure part, right? Because Enki has been very generous with providing information, and I've started to dig in deep. And so the Coinwise idea, I don't know if you saw this in the council chat. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to quickly show you guys. Wait, let me actually pull up this link. So yeah, so here, Enki posted all of this, right? And it looks like a very attractive solution, to be honest. So wait. So if you're here, right, you can go to explore. You don't really have to connect your wallet in the first place. Even though if you look at, the projects they've been working with, it's nice. It's like it's not like the major DeFi protocols or something, but it's a good selection of projects, reliable projects they've worked with, and so you can do essentially everything in here. You can create your own token, right? Especially if it's for community use. You can airdrop the token. You can even decide for a vesting period. So if you don't want to release all tokens right in the beginning, which is super smart not to do, then you can, create vesting periods. And then you even have a quest section. Seems like a really solid project. But there's always a little but. No, it's not really a but. But they have a really good documentation set up, which speaks for a project per se. If they have a good documentation set up, usually they don't plan on rug pulling you or doing crazy stunts. They try to become like a solid link in like this space, and they have like all the different outputs. They even have an email address you can contact them, and so you can read all of this. You can read the manifesto, which is like short but concise, I would even say. So you have like all the different tools you can use, and if you see like, okay, you can hold up in the vesting periods, you can lock up stuff for different stakeholders. You can even bridge tokens to Polygon, so that would be the answer to your problem, Mo. You can integrate Discord tipping bots, which Jump did like right from the beginning. That's like one of the first things they set up with this project. I remember that. And you can even have the multi-sig, which is great because it's kind of needed. The only but really is that there are fees. Okay, so if you want them to help you with minting the tokens in the first thing, they will ask you for 1% of their token supply. Just as a reference, most venture capitalists will ask you for way more, for providing essentially more or less the same service. So I think personally, unless someone is criticizing this in this chat, I think this is not a bad deal at all, right? Then, you know, for social token
So,
airdrops, yeah, what?
1 second. The liquidity is provided by them.
No, this is a community token. Meaning
Okay,
you
because
would
Governance token?
what?
yeah, sure. Okay, because like if that's not the case, it's not the same than a VC.
No, it's not. It's not the same. I'm just saying, you know,
Okay.
if like they're speculating, right, on taking like 1%, which means they would have 1% of governance power in your infrastructure. I still think, you know, 1% of governance power is not a lot, right? Because
Yeah, I'm just surprised because why would they want that? But okay, I mean,
you have to
the
ask
thing.
them that yourself. I'm not sure why they want that. I guess they're speculating that eventually that voting power might be able to pre-translate. I mean, let's face it, this is the problem that I've been wrapping my head around a lot. The fact that whatever kind of token we create, it is going to be an ERC20 token, meaning by nature it will be tradable. Like, even though we're calling this a community token, it is a tradable token, right? So if you ask me personally, I don't think for neither of our projects right now is the time to actually do an ERC20 token. We are in way too early. We are way over our heads right now, and we need to figure out basics first. So if you want to, like, I can also, you know, shortlist that. So what I've been playing around with is called Coordinate, because as Mo mentioned in last week's call, it is a thing that we need to keep track of what, you know, all of our contributors are doing, right? That's kind of essential. And this is why we are trying to rush towards having a token. This is the only reason. We don't actually need a token. None of our projects right now are actually in need of a token. The only thing we really need is keeping track of whatever anyone in our realms is contributing. And while, you know, the most spreadsheet is obviously a solution, I felt with all of our busy schedules, it's not a great solution because it requires a lot of manual labor. A lot of manual labor that actually Emma herself suffered under. So instead of repeating that mistake, like Glenn and I, we looked into a bunch of different tools, and then this is the tool that Glenn found. And yeah, well, I haven't read like the complete documentation yet, so there's a complete documentation, also a lot of videos attached. But I think this is something people can work with. So the way this works is you set up an epoch. Sorry, you actually have to go here. You actually set up an epoch period. Okay, that could be a project period. That could be just, you know, every month, like giving people a salary within a month, right? But instead, it's completely decentralized, meaning it actually works on chain. And it actually works that way that each of us is giving allocations to each other. So it's not, you know, it's not like one singular structure where I drop, you know, something to people as being like the head of the DAO, which is by nature totally stupid. Instead, like, you know, we drop rewards to each other depending on what we have set up, right? So I wrote in this epoch one thing I did. I said, yeah, so what I've been doing is la 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 la. So please drop me some gifts, right? And I got mediocre 8 gifts. Fuck you guys. Anyhow, I think using a tool like this might be of much more use right now for each of our projects than actually launching our first ERC20 token. Because the ERC20 can be potentially very dangerous, depending on, you know, well, depending really. I mean, it's your decision. I don't think it's the right step right now for Entourage, neither for Elena. So we're not going to deploy that solution as of now. And yeah,
Yeah,
coordinate for keeping track on
I
chain.
totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I was actually wondering why you're like storming into that direction so much already right now. Because like what I or we will do, we will practically more or less take a step back again from this whole over-engineered possibilities there were in Digital X. I mean, that was all great, but I think it was just a bit too much for the situation really we were ourselves in. So yeah, I mean, like I'm thinking right now more in the direction of really just going with ETH first of all, because because that's just more our brand. You know, when we really want to do high fashion real life clothing, that's going to be shit expensive, and the people who buy that sort of stuff, they're buying with ETH. Yeah, ETH. That's just no question. You know. So and then again, of course, building that whole structure with coins up with ETH directly, that's going to be really expensive and so on. So I'm going to play that easy now for now and just focus on other stuff right now.
Yeah, no, I think, you know, while our experience was a little bit sad with Digital X, I think it also gave us the opportunity to start thinking for ourselves again and, you know, finding our own pace. Like, none of us here actually need to do anything, right? We can and we should do it at a pace that seems to work for us. Because I know most of us here are still doing like IRL jobs, are still doing freelance jobs, and those jobs are very much required to move on in this space. So it's like it's a depending scale, and yeah, I think that's totally fine. And the reason why I brought Coinbase up first is I always bring up the stuff first that I'm gonna negate later. So I'm sorry for confusing you. It was like I wanted to tell you guys this is something that exists and something that Enki found that I think is actually very solid. And you know, if anyone in here feels ready for launching their first token, because I think Mo might feel ready for that. She has developers, you know, so she might feel like this is something she can actually go for, and it's like the time for her to go for it. Then that is great, and that's probably, a really great solution. And but for all of us who are trying to do this in a like, you know, more slow paced and not like full on right now, Coordinate seems like a great tool to utilize. And I also looked into something else that was brought up, I think also by Enki, right? Enki, did you? Yeah, you also no, Indica posted this one. It was Colony.io. So Colony.io, as far as I understood, because I didn't have too much time to look into this yet, but it's essentially a tool that allows you for both. So you can keep track of community contributions, and you can, you know, do this by using your own coin. So it's also a super valid tool from what I can tell. Let me check quickly. It would be in ears, wouldn't it? So yeah, it's gonna be tradable no matter what. I think that's we're all running Web3 mine, not sprint. Yeah, exactly. Sprinting, you know, is for people who want to sell early, right? That's how far this is what I get from the real world experiences. Like, if you want to go high very fast and then sell off, like you would go at an extreme pace and create as much value in a short amount of time as you possibly can, using like all your resources. But I feel like none of us are really in this for selling quickly. It has a lot to do with the passion and living out this passion in a space that provides us with freedom. So yeah, taking it easy and doing it like the right and the solid way seems like a good idea, I guess. Catherine
Yeah,
was the last.
my
Gabriel.
May I? Yeah. Sorry, I missed so many of your talks and discussions in between. So my question is, or like my feeling is that we focused a little bit much on this whole DeFi aspect and the technological aspect of digital X. I mean, that probably comes from the fact where Emma's coming from. But where she's absolutely right, I think, is when she's talking about network effects. Now, I think, or as far as I understood it, network effects are very much possible apart from, DeFi and blockchain. It doesn't have to be on chain. It can be just like networks of people working together, or communication, or online events, or things like that, where network effects can be very, very beneficial for us as well. And I would think that would maybe be something where we should look inside how we could elevate each other in these forms, which are not of a DeFi nature.
Yeah, Gabriel, that's crazy, because if you've seen, I've been posting about this raw workshop that we do every season, and that's literally my intention with it. And it's like, it's funny, right before this I even tweeted, it's like, I said, imagine if it's like the Apollo for singers, or Def Comedy Jam for comedians, like a place where up and coming teachers and artists can come together and showcase it. And one of the things that we're doing, because I believe that people should actually get something back, and that's why I was even, trying to, like you said, so get the contribution. Like, okay, you be able to track however much you're putting in. That's the goal, so that you can use that to vote or have some type of stake within the community, understanding that that's the nature of the game now, is having stake in a community. So something that we're doing for like the workshop that we're doing is there's 8 contributors, 5 speakers, and 3 promoters, or like salespeople basically, but they'll also host spaces and like are out there really trying to sell the tickets basically. And we're splitting all those profits, 50 cents for the like raw treasury, but then the rest of it gets split into 8, percentages equally, so that the speakers are now walking away with money that they can now go put into their own projects as well, and really creating like a space that we're going to keep doing this every season, keep having new speakers and showing them how they can, go and put on a show for themselves. You get, if for however many tickets you sell, you get X amount of money. So you can put in some type of effort if you need to go and buy domains and do this and the third, but really start, uplifting ourselves, coming together and doing something that we can really get something out of for right now and in the future. I think that's important. And it doesn't have to be all about the DeFi way, but kind of bridging those gaps on doing what we can right now and talking about what and planning for the future, basically.
Yeah, exactly. That is one layer, for example, where you could produce, or where you could benefit from network effects. I was thinking in another way, and there are probably like many more, but that just came to me right now. But so, for example, fashion brands are really good in storytelling usually, and kind of creating their own worlds aesthetically and experientially and so on. And that is something which I always very much missed at Digital X, because like the websites looked like, well, shit. And I didn't feel at home at that, like this New York fashion thing, for example, was just not designed enough for me and so on. So and then it's always like the question is, our problem right now is like this whole digital fashion market is just not there yet. I mean, Emma can say as much as she wants, like how fast that's going to happen or not, but it's not here right now. So my question is, why don't we do it ourselves? Why don't we create a world, an environment together with partners, which we all know many of, who have virtual worlds, like Mona Vale, where I think Catherine is working with, and I have this other guy called who does Maison DAO, or Kalau and I are talking to Kadeen James. And like all of them have three-dimensional worlds. So the question is, why don't we like with all our kind of creative might we have as a group of people, we go to one of those places and have a very good position to make a deal with them and tell them, hey, you get our content and you build us this world, and we're in there, and we don't need to have, I don't know, 13 people somewhere in New York, but we can do this like as a worldwide event, which benefits your three-dimensional world, and then suddenly we have our market. We created it ourselves.
On that note,
I say
yesterday
something?
someone joined us. His name is officially Brandon, but in here it's the Shriek. At the time, Lauren introduced me to him, and I started working also partially for his project. And he is offering exactly that. So hit him up if you want. He has something that's called The Voyage AR, and it's like a complete marketplace, gamified marketplace, including like a closet and a pot that people can populate. It's pretty amazing. He showed me yesterday a sneak preview of that. So if this is something you're interested in, please hit him up in the general chat. I know he's like, he cannot say no. He loves people too much. And he loves his project too much. So he's super eager to talk to anyone who wants to join. Generally speaking, one more note, this is also what I told Nicole or Enki, is like I'm out of resources. I cannot take on yet another project, and setting this up would, it would require someone to be responsible for that. And so if you guys want to do this, like I think it's a great idea. But from the get-go, I will exclude my project and myself from it, because I'm just right now I have to figure out other stuff, and that's like not the primary thing that I have to solve. But that doesn't mean you don't or you shouldn't do it. Catherine?
Yeah, well, I mean, that is. I thought about that very, very much and looked at what I have. And I mean, what we have is like we have stages, we have clothing, so we pretty much have all of that stuff already. We have models wearing it. That's all we need, and everything else is going to be built by whatever environment we're going to work together with, I mean, of course, you will have to, load up your designs and put a price tag on it and stuff. But I think that would be doable. But I don't think there's much more work attached to that. So we don't have to like really build that by ourselves, as Deep Thought posted in the chat.
Actually, you would need to optimize most of the files if they are going to be uploaded to, one of those metaverse experiences. Because Catherine and I worked on the space with Mona Gallery, and we saw firsthand that we had to optimize a lot of the meshes to make it work. So it's still gonna be a complete, additional work cycle. Just saying.
No, you know much more about that. I'm always very optimistic when it comes to stuff like that.
Wait,
I know I'm
so
more of
I
a
met
realist. Sorry.
I met with the dude Simon, right? That's his name, from Mason Dow, and yesterday, and he said that. Okay, no, I remembered my thought. Okay, great. Like we can put our stuff in there, and there's only a limited amount of spots, something. But I could refer him to anyone else. But I think they're trying to figure out like the whole marketplace thing. I mean, I told them what Mona Gallery does, which is like you could put an artifact in there, but that artifact like digital object, and that's linked to NFT. So if you like hover over it, you could click it and takes you to another market, another place. But then I guess what's in it for them. So I think that's still being developed. A lot of it is still being developed, but really interesting.
Della, what was the one you said that is free, just like as a way to showcase? You remember?
Spatial?
Oh yeah, but that's not an actual space. That is like something to present your NFTs in.
Huh. What was it called again?
Um,
Remember? I'll find it.
yeah, you have to find it. I can look it up. I can find it. Sorry.
So I talked to Simon extensively as well over the last weeks. I somehow went a bit into a mentoring role there because, like, the first time we talked, and he's very open-minded and a smart guy, but he had a very legacy brand centric thinking. So he thought he would like build the city, and then these big brands would be coming and like pay him a lot of money to get one of these spaces. And I was like, yeah, don't do that. Because it takes too much time and too much work to get those brands on board, and until they understand it and stuff, just get like as many creators in there and just grow together with the network effects. So yeah, we've talked about that extensively, and I will probably talk with him in the next days as well, and I can just ask him what he thinks about, like, if he gets like the whole group on board in once, if he can, I don't know, skip the costs he would normally want from us. So I can try and haggle a bit with him.
Okay, so I found what Lauren was inquiring. It's called OnCyber.io, but it's not the same thing. It's really just, yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, exactly that one. I should have just looked in the chat. So yeah, it's this one. But it's really just a gallery. It's not an actual space. I think. Were you guys just talking about Museo or Musée Décentral? Is that what you were talking about, Catherine and Gabriel?
No, what we were talking about was Maison d'Ao.
Oh, Maison d'Ao. Okay, because there is also this project called Musée Décentral, and I think that would also allow for building a space, right? Yeah, and then there is Queendom.
That's more like a gallery, right?
I think that's more like a gallery, but I think it works that way that you can actually build out the gallery space. But I might be wrong about that, so don't
yeah, I met with the girl who started, or maybe co-founder of Queendom. Her name is Nico Ferra. So if anyone wants to chat with her, I can post her email. She's very nice. And so it's, from what I understand, like a customizable metaverse where you buy land. Yeah. I think it's interesting. It might be an option.
Yeah, I talked to her as well. That was really embarrassing because we came like into contact. She was talking about having more inclusive models, like digital models, and I was like, then I asked Emma, what do you think about that? She's like, yeah, just send her to me, and then like that didn't happen, and like she had to like call me again or like contact me again. Emma is not calling back, and blah blah blah, and it was just super embarrassing.
It was a mess. Yeah. Well, I'm sure she'll be nice. She'll be fine. Yeah, she's nice. We
she's
had
super nice,
yeah. She did the one. She was working with Claire for the New York Fashion Week, I think, with their kind of like virtual space, which I missed. Shoot, I just realized that. Dang it. Well, that was Wednesday. Maybe there's some kind of YouTube video or something.
So Catherine was last, and let me just quickly. Okay, I'm just trying to follow through with the schedule a little bit. Midwest is not here, so he cannot actually say anything about his goals. What about you, Lillian? You said structuring the Git book and investigate the manifold contracts and documentation. Did you have time to get into any of this?
About that, not really, and I'm not really sure if this is gonna work out between Osumikat and I. I've just been having like a hard time reaching her, and I know she's super busy, which is fine, but I just feel like it's kind of getting to a point where like I also need her to be involved to like, see what page she's on, and I don't know, I just don't know if she wants to.
Wait, you just got quiet, Lillian.
Lily shrugged.
Froze. I think I froze.
Yeah, you froze. Okay, so okay, you would actually need Osumi Cat to be more involved, right? Because you started this together. Now it feels like you're doing this alone, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and it's just a little too much if I have to take over like the whole leadership part. I mean, I'm not really that much of a good leader and I'm not like super articulate, so it's a little bit difficult to like do. So I'm kind of wondering what to do, but yeah, I mean, I need to chat with her and figure that out. But yeah.
I mean, either way, as mentioned before by Deep Thought in the chat as well, like, you're free to do this in your own pace. And if that, involves like rethinking the whole project and, just being like, hey, maybe for now I focus on, just doing some freelance work, keep studying, attending like most cool event and just educating myself on the space, that's totally fine. And we still want you here. So if you're free to join, I think this particular, community meetup or maybe networking, should not be should not be something that only, former realms or realm people like attend. Like everyone who feels like they want to build out something in the future should be able to attend. So don't feel pressured.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
No problem. And yeah, I assume Sumiket is pretty busy. They're going to join forces soon with Bangkok, as far as I know. So, and Bangkok is getting close to rolling out V3. Sorry, I should say V3. So yeah, everyone is like having like 24-hour days practically. Okay. Next on the line, Mrs. Mo Casso. Research smart contracts and update the Git book. How are you doing on that?
Yes, so I did research a lot of the smart contracts, a lot of the how to make them to tools that you had mentioned before. And I have ran into that same thing that you had already mentioned earlier, especially you guys know I'm the main one. Like, hey, when it comes to these tokens, you got to be careful. Like, don't just be launching anything and doing anything. So I think you have made a good point anyways. With DigitalX providing the tools, it made a lot of us feel like that FOMO, like, let me jump in there, let me get active, let me take advantage of this opportunity. But now that we're doing it on our own, it's definitely important to kind of dive deeper into these aspects as we're building out. So looking at those, I didn't really find any of the options, like I said, suitable to what I would like to do. Because I really like the simplicity that our smart contracts through DigitalX provided, with it just being on Polygon, so we could airdrop it, random NFTs for whatever. It'll show up on the blockchain, it'll show up on OpenSea, not really meant for like too much of the resale value. Same with our governance token, which we had just started dropping. Really easy to just, drop it from our smart contract. Minimal gas for me. It's not intended for, again, it to have any liquidity behind it as our governance token. So trying to find the next best option for either of those. I did like that coordinate tool that you actually just showed, where people can just kind of list their tasks there and then put their allocation, because that kind of streamlines that process that we have anyways, where we have it outlined what each task is and how many tokens you would get, so people can just kind of fill it in there and do it kind of automated. And then once we do get that smart contract again figured out on how exactly I'll be launching that governance token. That'll be that. But I definitely want to still figure out the best way to do the governance token. I also like the tool that you showed from NK, where, like you said, just has the community coin. Because I think it was helpful when we had to make decisions. Because if it was up to me, I probably 50-50 would have tried to figure out the easy way to stay with Digital X, keep using their smart contracts, and kind of doing our own thing. Because, like I said, we're going to have our own open source library as well, but building a whole website apart from that and doing a lot of things apart from that, again, to become more like this resource hub for educators and people coming in the space looking to go physical to digital. That's more on our brand. The fashion is great. The NFTs are great because it attracts, the creators. But what we really kind of pride ourselves on is creating content while you're doing that to help educate the space in different ways like that. So just trying to figure out, with even like you said, the Git book, I still actually need to update it, but I kind of was doodling in my own notebook, like, just regaining those pillars, regaining the mission and clarifying it. Like I've been, I put all of this stuff on Twitter too, just on like, refocusing on education and making sure that that's what we're putting out there. And that's why, these workshops are important. And just, I was even thinking like, it would be so cool if there was a way that we can just like treat a lot of our stuff that we do more as like peer to peer, because I think that there's a lot of ways that you can help people actually by not making it taboo to talk about like money and how to earn money, because that's what all of these marketplaces do, especially as I was watching like, oh, Manifold, and you're paying gas fees for every transaction on the blockchain. That's because miners are doing these things and they're getting paid for doing it. So if we can actually incorporate that into our business model so people can come on and, say we like, for example, our website, say we wanted to create a hub where you can post and share one of your NFTs that you've listed on like known origin. You can post it on our NFT hub, and people can kind of go and see which, NFTs that people have for sale and want, to be sold. Just creating like a marketplace like that. But say there's like a $20 fee to upload your art there, and then $5 of that goes to the person who's actually checking the link, putting resources on how to buy this, and adding a little bit of information that will help you actually now get this NFT sold to, creating like this kind of like peer-to-peer environment where it's becoming normal to help people help themselves in this economy rather than it just actually being one-sided. Like, I think that's where people, run into DeFi, but it's like, you don't have to go do anything for free, because the people at the top sure are not doing anything for free. So you have to understand during these transitions, like a lot of things end up being sold, that you should do things for free, but this isn't the time. I feel like people should be doing everything for free. Some things, yes, because it's just about building and getting the education out there, but we also have to be building the creators too to help them be able to pour into their projects and into their lives and help them. So trying to find like a way to kind of balance that, especially because a lot of the audience that I look to, they don't have a big savings account and they don't have a lot, so offering more is like, this is a way that you can actually start building and it be beneficial right now and in the future. I think will be awesome and needed in the community, honestly. So trying to focus on that, kind of got realigned with that mission and wanting to help people. Really, in my opinion.
I mean, you would still. I just reconfirmed with Deep Thought, but Polygon, is available on OpenSea, so you literally don't really have to choose one or the other. That's one point. And also, as you have a Web3 developer, the whole repository. Let me just quickly share this for everyone. The whole Digital X repository is freely accessible. this is what, you know, Emma was going on about. Like, you know, you don't have to be like, you know, feeling abandoned, because literally all of it is on the Digital X GitHub page. So if you go to repositories, you have like all of those different categories for the different, you know, sub websites that they have made. And I'm pretty sure if you dig a little bit deeper, you will actually find, so here are the staking contracts, for example, right? The NFT minting scripts. The only thing you would need to probably dig a little bit deeper for is this designer's front end Digital X I would argue that you would probably find this fork from nouns down, I think under Digital X contracts, and then smart contracts, and then you would probably need to dig a little bit deeper into this. But you can actually find, I believe, the contract in here that was used for creating your original token. So you could fork it from here with the help of your Web3 developer, and just, you know, keep going as you were, just, you know, doing your own spin-off of this. So you, like, if this is what you want, it can be kind of easily done.
It's funny. I was thinking that too, like right before this meeting. That was literally one of the thoughts I had. Like, I wonder if I could just fork it, because I was like, I mean, I should go back and read that thing and see if I could just even keep using it. But I'm like, no, let me use this as an opportunity to again learn, and not just, you know, do what would be easy, but actually learn how to do these things so that I can help somebody, and also, you know, be able to do it again and again for other businesses in the future. Because
unless you really want to do something novel, I think you're wrong. So if you really just want what you just said, there is no reason to spend 6 to 9 months learning Solidity. There's really no reason for it. The only like thing that would be good for you would be able to read line code and understand what like lines in a code are actually responsible for, I think. But maybe Deep Thought has something on this as well. Comment? I don't know. But I don't think you actually need to do this. It seems
I think you would also learn a lot too just by going through that, no? Like, it's kind of like backwards.
Oh, yeah.
Working backwards, no?
It's working backwards.
I mean, I don't know anything about this, so
No, but you're right. This is how you learn to read code. Like, I can read code. I'm not a line coder, I'm a visual scripter. So I just hate line code, to be honest. It's frustrating as fuck. You have to deal with a lot of bugs and errors, whereas, you know, visual scripting kind of helps you not to run into those like tiny asshole mistakes. Sorry, I really hate line code. But I think, Mo, like, don't do this to yourself. If there is an easy solution, you would want to take the easy solution first, and once you have more time, you can dig deeper, you know?
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, let me start at that forking thing. That's, I think, would be a better solution, since I like what I'm doing now, you know, and I've seen the other ways where it would be cool if I was doing like a marketplace for NFTs that were being sold. Then it makes sense to do Ethereum and, you know, that be on Rarible and all those other things. But just for airdrops, just for a governance token that we can just keep dropping, and it appears in your MetaMask wallet and it appears on OpenSea so you can see it. You know, I would like to just keep doing it this easy way, because I think it also offered a lot, you know, offering random airdrops. And it was something I was really hoping to have, you know, again, for like these workshops, and having the NFTs and the tickets come with, you know, different airdropped NFTs and stuff. So definitely something that I'm going to figure out. If not now, then definitely by the next one. I think having my thing in like 3-month increments also kind of helps me, because this is like the last month of this first season. So I feel like I want to get through this workshop and then kind of set the next roadmap. Like, okay, now that we're doing this all independently, what do we have ambitions of, you know, with this next season coming up? So like, one thing we want to definitely have this season is our website launched in this first workshop. So then, throughout this next season, we can start continuing to build our website and continuing to like build up this workshop. And these be the things that we continue to kind of pour into. And then all the other stuff, can kind of, slow down and understand that learning will go into it and then it'll kind of all come together. So definitely not a rush. I appreciate you guys for dropping all these resources in here for sure. Oh yeah, that would be cool too, Deep Thought. I was just thinking about Foundation for a place to start releasing some of my own NFTs again.
Yeah, so yeah, you saw Deep Thought's comment on this, and we unconsciously agreed. um, yeah, I I think it's like there's no shame in forking what is already out there. So using it makes sense. Wait, guys, what's like Enki? Enki, you weren't on the official goals list, but I knew you had some goals set for yourself. How were you doing with that? Do you want to comment?
Yeah, so I've just been doing client work, and then also like the brand that I'm setting up with one of my clients as well. So I did like the logo for that. And yeah, like it's mainly client work at the moment that I'm doing. And learning all of this stuff. Like I'm always looking out for resources and things that might help what we're doing. And yeah, it just feels like it's just like one thing after another.
Yeah, I also have to say there is really no shortage on new stuff popping up in the space. It's really just a matter of, honestly staying long enough on Twitter. I feel if you stay long enough on Twitter, you will find so many awesome things. One thing though that someone from Alta Core brought up, and I think he's not wrong, is whichever external projects we're using, we better make sure it's a solid one. So, do well, right, in doing your own research. I know to some of you I don't need to tell this, but then, just putting it out there once more, like whatever kind of project you find and you want to engage with, just make sure they have like all the different, boxes that you can check off, right? They have a solid documentation. They do have some, major projects that they have been working with or that are like part of that platform. Because yeah, you want to make sure you don't lose your infrastructure just suddenly, right? That's one part, especially if you're exploring like more centralized blockchains for your projects. And yeah, well, that's really all I can add at this point, I think. Do you guys like I don't know, Yahini, are you back? Like I don't think you could have set some goals for yourself for this time, but maybe if we're like out of questions, I don't know. Does anyone want to ask anything else?
I had a question. Does anyone have like just like some kind of daily nice resource to like learn, or like maybe specific Twitter accounts that you're following? Maybe because you know how we had a list of like following each other. Do you think we could build a list on Twitter of like nice accounts to follow and build that? Like as far as just like learning about Web3 and the space. I want to try to set up a morning routine, just trying to like start going back into research.
Yeah, there's a few ways. I mean, honestly, the Twitter accounts are like enjoy them with carefulness, right? Because a lot of what you see on Twitter has like intent. It is there to be seen and there to be promoted. That's at least what I found out over the time. I think it's no harm in sharing some of the Twitter accounts we've been following, but I think having like verified resources makes more sense. This is why I've been pointing you onto like the Web3 Edu channel, and I'm pretty sure that Mokasa in her server in the Raw Realm has also some community verified knowledge that you can access. I feel especially if you're new and learning, it's dangerous to just roam around Twitter and listen to just anything, really. But this is me, the skeptic, speaking. So, Mo.
MetaMike's server also seems good. BPM, right? If anyone's in that, just as far as news and like updates.
Yeah, we have a bot that's pretty good that drops like articles in our chat every day. Well, not even every day, probably like every
Is it the
15
huddle?
minutes.
Huddle?
Yeah, the Hodl bot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
Nice. What did
So,
you
but
link
some,
it to? Or is it?
we have like a crypto chat in there. So
Nice.
let me see.
I'll
Yeah,
watch
there's
your-
like we
I'll
have
watch
one
your
that
doc.
says let's talk about it. So there people have kind of like shared random, oh no, not really. People haven't really shared random stuff too much. But the Hodl one, they drop some interesting articles sometimes. And then if anything, I say start paying attention to the sources, like Stella said. I like reading articles, or if I watch YouTube or see like a tweet, I start to take it and go a little deeper, look at the source, see if they've shared other articles, other videos, and try to like gain their credibility, gain their viewpoint. You can always, learn something from different sides. So it's just kind of understanding, like Stella has said, why you're seeing this, what the message is, taking a piece from it, and then, kind of going from there. Just, being using your research how it's used to be used instead of like I don't know. Don't let it use your research, more of the story.
Yeah, agreed. 100%.
Could you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, Henny, welcome. Yes, we can
Yeah,
hear you.
I don't know what's wrong with my microphone. I just use now my phone. That's why it's okay. I think. Yeah. I don't know what to say because last 2 weeks I was thinking about how to leave my country because I'm not sure that here will be everything okay in a close time. That's why I hope I leave it soon because I can't work and every time I have bad thoughts about all of this. And yeah, here I'm in safe right now, but I don't know what will be tomorrow or in a week or later. That's why, yeah. And I want to start work again, and because I missed too much information. That's why, yeah. Trying to read some information what I need to do.
If I may ask you, Henny, are you in Russia or are you in Ukraine? Like where are you right
No, I'm in Belarus now. Yeah, I'm a Belarusian, but Russian troops in our country right now, next to the Ukrainian border. And from 2020, when were Belarusian protests in our country, hundred thousands of people left our country. That's why right now we don't have any meetings or something like this because a lot of people and a lot of my acquaintance and friends were in the prison. That's why people just afraid. And it's not the same situation like in Russia right now. just our president want to help a Russian president, and we can't do something. Yeah.
Understood. Okay. I'm sorry this is happening to you. I mean, you might know Digital Stylist. She just posted today on Twitter that she's, finally getting out of Ukraine. But yeah, it's very worrisome what's happening there. And yeah, well, I guess the only thing you actually can do is moving forward. So kudos to you for trying to do that in that situation.
Yeah, I'll try, but just don't want to stay here and wait when situation will be really bad.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Is there any question we can answer you that like you have right now? Is there anything we can?
As I said, I'm not a native speaker. That's why sometimes I can't understand everything.
Yeah.
And I think I just if I can, I just need to read some information about this. It will be a little bit easier to me, I think.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Like if you have questions later on, just direct message me or put it here in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But no problems. Whatever you need, let us know so we can help.
Yeah, thank you.
And get out of there. Really doesn't seem to be a good location right now because this guy, like Putin, he seems really crazy. You never know, when he's gonna do something that is like just insane. So yeah. Guys, do we want to stick with our idea of setting goals for the upcoming week? Is that something you want to keep going? Because I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Okay, Lauren, then you may as well let me put on my glasses. But you may as well start dictating what you want to set for next week.
I think I finished the onboarding presentation. And then I look at this thing you said and try to make a test. The gorilla ape thing.
And work out a test with coordinate. Okay, cool. Super cool. Okay, Catherine, you want to set a goal for next week?
Sure. I guess just the smart contract and figuring out what platform.
So smart contracts and primary platform.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Lillian, doesn't have to be a round goal, but you want to set one?
I guess just see what Osumi Cat says, and I think I'll still like stick around for these council meetings because they're really interesting and I like to learn about it. But just leave it open, I guess.
I'm putting converse with Osumi Cat and define common goals because that's what you actually need to do. Sorry for taking this away. Sorry. Okay, Bo, what's your primary goal for next week?
I need to update my Git book some more. Definitely need to get in there and take some stuff out and get refocused in that sphere. And I feel like also just kind of make myself like a little business routine. A lot of, like I said, the stuff is something that's going to be happening over and over. So I'm trying to get something that's consistent in that sphere. I know it seems like minuscule, but it will help me tremendously. So it's a goal that I have for this week. It's just to get like a schedule, whether it's, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I look into certain things, or even just like how Kalal said, just setting up more on like my morning schedule. I have my own life, my dog life, my mom life. I have all these other things. So I'm just kind of reorganizing in a way where I can have some time to just kind of focus on more on the learning of raw, because even building of raw is like full time, during a certain time. So setting up more time to just research just these things, research more on actually how to fork a smart contract, and where how that would be, because I think that's like one of my main question there is, okay, Manifold, you launch your smart contract there. Say the way I imagined forking, and this is me doing zero research on how to fork it, but it was just like you would just copy this code and paste it, and then it kind of be like live on its own thing. So figuring out like where that platform is, or like
Yeah.
how that works.
So, okay, Enki just said she's gonna type out her goal soon. She had to go. Yeah, so the way that works is actually you need to install a code editor on your computer. It could be almost anything, but the more popular of a code editor you choose,
I have one of them. I think the JSON reader, one of those add-ons from the other smart contract.
Okay, that JSON reader is just a reader as far as I know, but I might be wrong about this. Anyway, so
Okay.
you would download something, I don't know, I think Sublime, or you could even use PowerShell, which should be native on your PC if you're having a Windows PC. It's not great, but it would work, is what I'm saying. So you need a code editor, and you need to install the GitHub application on your computer, and then you can essentially just download from any repo on GitHub directly to your native editor. I hope I'm not wrong about this. I hope if I'm wrong about this, Deep Thought has already been writing something.
Okay. And then that kind of
yeah, that's actually great. Yeah, another cool code editor is Visual Studio. And usually if you have already, Microsoft stuff installed, should be no problem to install that as well if it's not natively installed. That's true. And he's writing something now, so let's wait what he's saying. Which is free and integrates with Microsoft. Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. Thank you, Deep Thought. So yeah, you would need to have those two components, right? But I think also keep checking the chat, because as Deep Thought just mentioned, he's going to do more research on low code ideas. And so the manifold idea works a little bit differently, right? It's not forking in the sense of forking. It's really like making your own copy, if that makes sense. So it's not an extension of an already existing code, but instead it's like really copying the original part and putting your own stamp on it via actually an ASCII code. So it works a little bit different, I would say. But both are, because Manifold is also open source. So I'm pretty sure if we look at, so it would be probably nice for you to compare, to compare the Digital X one to the one from Manifold. I hope they are listed under actual Manifold. No, of course not. Okay. Oh no, my mistake. Sorry. So yeah, okay. That's not really great. I guess okay. I have to look it up. I have to look up what is the actual one. And then, because it says it's 2000. So let me look what's the actual one, and then you can, or maybe Deep Thought can find it faster than I do. And then you could kind of compare, one with the other and see where there are differences. And then, search specifically for those differences and what they mean. I think it's like... Lauren put it very nicely, saying, it's like engineering backwards in a way, to understand what the contract is actually doing, because I think that's what you actually want. You want to understand, and that's great. Okay, I definitely note it down. I said update the Git book some more and create a business routine, and how to fork a smart contract. You're good with that?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, oh god, we have so much work. Okay, Henny, you want to define any goals for yourself other than, getting safely out of your country?
You know, as I said, I'm here. I'm safe, and I'm not in Ukraine. I'm not sure that will be the same situation, but just don't know when I can leave, because the borders are closed. That's why, yeah, I just thinking about a few roads. But the goal, I hope you'll send me the Alana's body, and because I want to start to do something for her. Because before this horrible war, I did a few sketches,
Okay, yeah,
and
I
after
have
this,
to
I
send you
just
this one.
stopped. I want to do something, and I will. I will. I hope if I'll do something, I can feel better. That's all.
Okay, yeah, I really owe you that one. I also know, but now we've gotten out of the Digital X infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you were able to see this. You can still see this in my stream if you want right now.
Yeah.
But under news, I put the vote today. So the platforms we're going to leverage for minting will be Foundation, and it will be it will be OpenSea, right? So we can kind of decide between those two which you would like to mint your creation on. So give it a thought, right? And I know I'm owing you this Alana file. I'm sorry I've been so busy, but yeah, definitely gonna do this. Can you poke me again tomorrow if I haven't sent it to you? Just
Okay.
Send me a DM and be like, bitch, I need this file from you, like now. Okay? Because I don't want to leave you hanging here. Okay, cool. I got this down. Enki's gonna follow up later. And yeah, that would be, unless there are more questions, the Second Realm Council is hereby concluded.
You should get like a mallet. Or like a, Survivor. They have tribal council.
I
can,
like
put
our
out
name.
fires, some torches. We can extinguish torches. I think it'll feel like a release. That is my contribution.
Oh, and also, this is nice information that Deep Thought just put. Good news is that you can do revenue shares on Foundation, in case you didn't know that. I think I put it in the general research about the different platforms, but in case I forgot, he's right. You can actually do revenue shares. Okay, cool, guys. Anything else? Catherine, Mo, Lillian, Deep Thought, Yohani, anything? Otherwise, we're gonna extinguish the candles. I can actually do this here. It can be like...
Oh, very nice. Turn off the light.
Okay, just messing with you. Okay, guys, so hear you in the chat and see you next week, I assume. Yeah. Boy.